You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. Having stuff isn't fun. Getting stuff is fun.
The best men are those who've been broken by life and have pulled through, have come out the other end.
Why?
Because they've been forced by circumstances to drop the illusion of their strength and power. They've known that they couldn't keep that going. They've hit rock bottom and they've had to reach out and say, I can't cope. I am in infantile position. Help me. Men become rather glorious when that's happened to them, because that's when there's true humanity, sympathy, etc. But some men, they never get there. It's posture. And I can spot them a mile away. The men who've been broken.
What do they look like?
There's a modesty. Deep down, there's a modesty. And you just feel, I think people give off, I often notice it, a sense of how much you could tell them and how much they'd be able to bear.
There's been so many times where I've been in a prep and I felt way too far behind to win. And I had an injury last year when I tore my lat, tore my bicep. I was in the hospital, all these different things going on, and I'm there's no way that I can do this. It's impossible. And if I were to ever ask myself in the past, do you think you could win or get through this and do this? I'd be like, no way, it's impossible. But I was in it, and I did it, and I accomplished it, and I was like, I'm capable of so much more than my mind understands.
The weight doesn't get lighter, your back gets stronger. It's the hero's journey, and you're on a journey to do something, to become something, right? And what are you doing here? What's your role in the world?
What was the first part of that quote again?
Everything changed for me when I realized we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time.
This was the idea of pursuing happiness, not leading to happiness. You pursue things that have meaning in life and things that you care about, love, challenges, relationships, and happiness might ensue. But you don't pursue the happiness itself because it's inevitably not going to be there all the time. If you're just constantly seeking more happiness and it's not there, then you're seeking something that's never going to be there.
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
And in those hard times, believing they're going to lead to good times, it just creates a lot less friction in your life, and I think whenever we're going through a hard time, we just want it to end, but it's those moments that allow us to appreciate the good ones.
We're in this brief shaft of light between two oceans of darkness. But everyone always thinks about the tail end, right? And thinks about what happens after you die. Mark Twain had this great quote, he said, I wasn't alive for billions of years before my birth, and it didn't inconvenience me in the least. But this brief shaft of light is it's magnificent, isn't it?
So you choosing to take power of what little you can when you're feeling when everything's crumbling around you and you feel powerless and helpless, well, what can you take control of? You can take control of opening your door and embracing that, leaning into that hard time. I'm going to choose to feel this. It's here. I didn't choose that, but I'm going to choose to feel it, and I have power over the choice of what I feel. The funny thing is when you learn to embrace them, they're way more fleeting than you realize. To sit on something in your mind for a while, to stress about it and not want to feel it, it lingers for a long period of time. But to just embrace it and to feel it, to cry, however it needs to express itself out of you, it happens a lot quicker than you think, and you're able to move through it. And then when you look back at it, you're like, that was kind of beautiful. People love watching sad movies and crying sometimes, and you're sad in the movie, and you're like, fuck, that was really sad. You go back and you watch another sad movie. We like feeling things. We enjoy emotion. It's the human experience is highs and lows. To accept that there's inevitably going to be shit times in your life, and the more you can lean into them and feel them, the more you can lean into feeling to the high ones as well, and it's just part of the journey.
It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit, right? It's that thing, and it's not the self-help, it's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not either the journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey. And here's the terrible thing about life, it's self-assignment. I don't think you get self-esteem from the six-pack you get at the gym. I think you get self-esteem from being the kind of person that goes to the gym every day. And you get kind of better at it.
There's a great quote from Jean-Paul Sartre. He said, "I've led a toothless life. I have never bitten into anything. I was waiting. I was reserving myself for later on. I have just noticed that my teeth have gone." This idea of being shunted to the side of your own life, of being an NPC, a non-playable character when you should have been the main character. You can be in service of other people, but you can still have some sort of action that you take into the world. This deferred life thing, waiting for life to begin. It's a great time of year to question that assumption. What would have to happen by the end of next year for you to look back on it and consider it a success? What would I do to make 85-year-old me miserable? What would 85-year-old me wish that I did more of? What are the emotions I'm unprepared to feel? What are the thoughts that I thought too many times last year? If this was a movie and the audience was watching, what would they be screaming at the screen, telling me to do with my life? They're cool questions, and they certainly helped me. They helped me find direction, so I hope they've helped everyone else as well.